welcome to Past, Present, and Future, or Three Questions, the podcast where we learn about people's career journeys, how they got to where they are today, and where they'd like to go to next. I'm Parrots Cohen, a technologist and a wordsmith, and in my time in industry, I've been fortunate to work with both large companies and small startups alongside a number of very talented and hardworking individuals. This podcast is some of my conversations with them, where we learn about their journeys and what motivates them. If you'd like to be in the podcast, please feel free to reach out. You don't have to have a certain level of seniority or a number of years of experience. We all have something to share and learn from each other. If you'd like to sponsor the podcast or get involved in the collaboration, we'd also like to hear from you. All right, looking forward to our journey together as we learn more about each other and enrich ourselves in the process.
All right, welcome to the show, episode 1. We have a very special guest for you today. We're live with Adam.
Hi, good to be here.
Great to have you, Adam. So let's take it back. Let's start at the beginning. Where did it all begin?
You mean like where did I grow up? What's the actor's studio questions, right?
Yeah, along those lines. But we'll fast forward a couple of years.
Fast forward,
definitely,
okay.
And definitely edit out this portion. But
you don't have to. It's banter.
But you keep it in. It's natural. It's the banter.
Yeah.
But yeah, where did it all begin? Kind of career, kind of the love and the passion for developer documentation and developer communities.
Okay,
Where did that all start?
So I was a developer who I found myself writing about it and eventually became a journalist around the topics, and then somehow accidentally became a marketer doing it as well. And so kind of tripped my way along that path. But I think the through line there has really been helping other developers be able to identify like what's the point of this technology. Like, I mean, we can have all of this tech, but what are we actually going to do with it? And so that's been the background and the pathway that came here. But I think that required me to have each of those stints: the time as a developer, the time as a journalist, sort of unpacking what is it that matters here, and then realizing, oh, there's a way that I can help companies do this better, and then and be able to have that communication with developers. And that's kind of the path that I've taken.
That's incredible. It's definitely reminds me of the anecdote from Laszlo Bock, the former head of HR at Google, that a lot of career paths make a lot more sense in hindsight and kind of
right. Yeah.
Before we move on to what you're working on today, is there any kind of pivotal experiences or kind of particular mentorships or kind of products that you worked on kind of in your former career before today you'd like to?
Yeah, there probably are many, but you mentioned the pivotal moment, and I can definitely trace back that to an email I sent to WebMonkey, which was a Web 1.0 learn to write code. I sent it to them while I was doing an internship, coding ASP, and I said, you have a gap here in in your WebMonkey content. And Ebony Thomas, who was the editor at that time, replied back maybe a couple months later. With an offer to write it for probably the most I'd ever been paid to do anything before. And that first article, I wrote many for WebMonkey, but that first introduced me to some of my first paying developer work, and definitely got me on that path. Eventually, that I picked back up of the sort of journalism, not just writing code, but writing about code. And so, yeah, so Ebony and I've had a chance to tell her that how important she was in my career, and eventually to meet in person and have her autograph her own book that she has written, which is not technical, that is about sleeping positions in bed. It's a fun illustrated, totally non sequitur kind of, and not, very PG or G rated, I guess. Yeah, but yeah. So that was a pivotal moment, and it could be one of many that I've had um, of being able to kind of, as I've explored, you bump into people, get to know people like you.
No, it's incredible. It's incredible what having these conversations and just reaching out and kind of sending that full first pull request or that first outreach email, and really building those connections and how they launch things in unexpected directions.
Yeah.
But riding on a rocket ship over to the present moment, love to hear a little bit more about every developer and what you're working on these days.
Yeah. Uh, so every developer is works with technical companies with technical products to help them be able to talk about those products, be able to connect the developer problems that their audience has to the actual product and what it does. And so we work with a number of companies who have technical products and help them be able to tell those stories. And it really does kind of go back to that path that I talked about that I was that I was on. And in between those, I held some roles that happened to be in marketing for dev focused products. And that's what led me to start Every Developer, realizing there was this need um, that was hard to solve for, and that that we could help a lot of these companies do the right thing. That's really, it's like do right by developers, and that's kind of what we attempt to do. And a lot of times you can't see that inside. You're so focused on your own product that it's hard to have that to have that external kind of objective view. And so that's what we help our clients to have, and be able to better reach those developers who will then come and discover their product and love it. And then you can talk all about the product once once you're in it, right? But how do we find them in the first place? And that's what we help them do.
Yeah, and I can definitely share from my experience of working with Adam on a number of projects, just the way you and your team approach kind of, if whether it's a large developer ask or even a small one, and really kind of utilizing that lens and really polishing content and with a focus on content, kind of talking about like your journalism background, just like the power of the written word to embody kind of that developer mindset, that developer audience, which is so integral to a lot of those efforts.
Oh, well, that's great to hear.
Well, yeah, let's put on our kind of a future lens, talking about kind of where would you like to take your business, your career? You're kind of thinking 5 to 10 years down the road. What is the dream? What is the kind of the goal?
Yeah, I I mean it's hard to see, like like Laszlo Bach says, to see that to see that path super clearly from here as opposed to from there. From there, when we come back and we talk about this in 5 to 10 years, it'll be very clear what it was. But I think from here it looks uh, like more of the same, but hopefully in ways that will have larger impacts than what just me or my team can do for a handful of clients. So certainly I've written 2 books. There's probably more books in me on the topics. And I'm sure you'll have links and things to this, but developer marketing does not exist is a good place to start to get kind of the philosophy. And so I think doing things that get that message out and enable many people to do right by devs and other technical audiences I think that when you are able to, and we've got a proliferation of technical tools now. I'm talking about AI and everything that surrounds it, right? So you have this time where there are so many more people using these tools. So how can we help them understand what matters about it and use it in the right ways that can improve everything, right? And improve their experience and then the experience that they provide to others for whatever they're building. And so, I mean, to that line, I have it's a small little step toward that. That's I've partnered with Matthew Revell, the founder of DevRelCon, to create Developer Marketing in Practice, which is a training and coaching program where we work through with individuals who are likely a marketer, often working with their first technical product and realizing that a lot of the toolbox that they had before, they have to kind of either leave at the door or change up to be able to better engage that audience.
That's extremely powerful, and I feel like it's all connected. Kind of where we started, kind of where you are currently, and where you're going to. It's all that through line of really translating those different kind of areas and kind of the language they use and their motivations and those priorities of really kind of making it feel seamless, so that marketing doesn't feel like a foreign concept
Yeah.
within the developer ecosystem, and really kind of not just doing it yourself and putting it to practice, but really scaling kind of the consulting work that you do and growing that and kind of empowering developers and marketers to understand that worldview of that kind of trifecta of like the power of the written
Mm-hmm.
word, marketing kind of sensibilities, and within the developer ecosystem of a use case, whether smaller developer or larger developer shop, in utilizing those tools. And especially in the world of AI, having a clear razor to cut through some of the noise is so integral. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really incredible. And yeah, really glad to have you here on the show and learn all about what you do. Like you said, we're going to have links to all the ways to connect with Adam in the show notes, more information about his books, and I recommend reaching out to Adam and learning more about every developer and what he can do for you and your company.
All right. Thanks for having me.